Boys, Garcia versus Onama is this weekend at the Apex, which, as we all know from the UFC executives, is the exact same as all of their other venues, like Madison Square Garden or the Sphere or the O2 Arena. So that's why they gave us the biggest banger they possibly could to follow Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane last weekend. Steve Garcia versus DavidOnama. And no, honestly, this is going to be a banger fight. Like, these two are really good fighters. Let's just jump straight into it, okay? I'm going to go with the main event down through the whole main card. I think Steve Garcia is going to win this by absolutely breaking DavidOnama. I know that he had 5 knockouts in a row or 6 knockouts in a row, Garcia, and then he had that decision win against Calvin Kattar recently. But I don't think this is going to be a KO. I'm predicting this is going to be a round 2 rear naked choke victory because DavidOnama is very good. He's a very good striker. He is like his movement and his way of keeping distance is really solid. His fight against Giga Chikadze was a perfect example of that. Like, he had a perfect game plan to beat Giga where he kept putting the pressure on Giga Chikadze so that Giga couldn't get his kicks off everywhere, which he's known for, right? And it just showed like he has good fight IQ. Both of these guys have had a good amount of fights in the UFC. They've lost a couple, but they're on good win streaks. But Steve Garcia is an animal, man. Like, he fights out of that John Jones, Albuquerque, Greg Jackson gym, and you can tell when he fights. He goes in there ready to just end the other guy, right? He doesn't mind what damage he's doing to you, but like, he's going to do damage to you. At any point, he's finding moments to do damage to you. He's grinding into your face. He's kicking you anytime he has the opportunity. He's throwing punches that are designed to really hurt you, right? Like, in contrast, DavidOnama, it's a lot of light stuff. It looks very good and it's nice, but not all of it's like designed to hurt. A lot of it's designed to, get you to open up and to sort of see when he can find that shot and to like. Garcia's going in there to fight. He's going in there to win a fight. DavidOnama seems like he's going in there to like win 3 to 5 rounds, depending on what the fight is, right? And I just don't think that mentality is going to work against an animal like Steve Garcia, who has that John Jones mindset, right? Like, he's going in there to ruin you. And that type of pressure that DavidOnama had worked against Giga Chikadze, but could you imagine someone trying to pressure John Jones the way that DavidOnama did Giga Chikadze? John Jones would just push that pressure against them until it eventually broke, right? Like, someone's going to break. And I see it being DavidOnama. Round 2, rear naked choke. Moving on to, this is going to be fun. Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Ante Delija, Tom Aspinall's teammate. Guys, honestly, when I first saw this matchup, I thought Ante Delija is going to go through him. Especially just, with training with Tom Aspinall's camp, getting him to that like top level of what he's capable of. He's had a long career. He's had more fights than Waldo Cortes-Acosta. So I feel like they've gotten him to his peak in a really great way. And he has the tools to beat a lot of these heavyweights, right? Good grappling, good striking, powerful. But Waldo Cortes-Acosta has an pretty extensive career. Even though his record is only 14-2, as opposed to Ante Delija's 26-6, like, almost all of those fights for Waldo Cortes-Acosta were in the UFC. He's fought basically everybody. And the 2 losses that he has are to Pavlovich and Marcos Rogeria, the blah blah Oliveira, whatever his name is, but both like good, really good heavyweights, and both by decision, not by KOs. He didn't get like knocked out, like sparked out by Pavlovich or anything like that, right? So that's pretty good. He knows how to win. He's won a lot of decisions as well. If you look at like his finishing rate or how he finishes his fights, a lot of Waldo Cortes-Acosta's wins are by decision. And I think the thing that's making me lean towards Waldo Cortes-Acosta in this fight is that I can't imagine that Ante Delija's head is perfectly in the game right now, given everything that's going on in the Tom Aspinall camp. Like, there's no frustrations. There's no, like anger at Cyril Gahn or, anger at the referees or the UFC for the way that things are being handled or anything like that. There's no attention being taken off of your fight to focus on what's going on in Tom Aspinall's life after last weekend when the whole MMA community is constantly talking about these eye pokes. In fact, if Waldo Cortes-Acosta really wants to win, he should just walk in there and double eye poke Ante Delija right out of the gate and then just see what happens. Like, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. I promise. Another no contest. That would be the absolute best. I would die. I would die. That would be the best. Waldo Cortes-Acosta by double eye poke at 4 minutes of round one. No, I'm going Waldo Cortes-Acosta by decision. I just think Delija's head's not in the game. Acosta has way too much high-level UFC experience, beating guys like Spivak. He's faced guys that Ante Delija hasn't seen yet, right? So the experience, their records don't really speak the same way. And even if they did, I mean, just at a ratio level, Waldo Cortes-Acosta's record is actually fine. So I'm going to go Waldo Cortes-Acosta by decision. Moving on to Themba Gorimbo versus Jeremiah Wells. So I'm going, just honestly, I think this is not going to be the most enjoyable fight, guys. I'm going Themba Gorimbo by decision just because he has a ton more output. Wells has a good record, but he has 2 losses and, he's coming off 2 losses. Some of his good record is Warley Alves. People forget, man. Warley Alves beat Colby Covington. So, Jeremiah Wells is decent, but Themba Gorimbo was on a bit of a run. He suffered an anaconda loss to Vicente Luque in like 50 seconds of round 1. So it's a little hiccup on your journey, but you sort of just keep going. And with Wells coming off 2 losses, I think this is just going to be there for Gorimbo to take. But I think it's going to be a decision. I honestly think it's not going to be that interesting. I just don't see it being interesting. So let's move on to Isaac Dulgarian versus Yadier Del Valle. I honestly I'd seen Del Valle, I don't know. I'm Big Dumb Harry. I'm not good with fucking Mexican stuff. Spanish, I'm an idiot. Mi español no es fantástico, amigo. I'm just going to go with Del Valle by decision. You got to go with the undefeated guy. I don't know enough about either of these guys to have a really strong pick here, so don't hold me to it. Moving on to Daniel Frunza versus Charles Radtke. This I have a firm pick on. So I'm going with Daniel Frunza by KO. Radtke folds easy, man. He folded to Carlos Prates. He folded to Mike Malott, who recently fought Kevin Holland. And, he was good against Kevin Holland, but he wasn't like anything crazy. I feel like if you can get folded by Mike Malott, you can get folded by Daniel Frunza because he was tearing guys up. He was running through a bunch of KOs at the start of his journey in the UFC. And his last loss was this really weird fight against Rhys McKee. If you don't know who Rhys McKee is, he's the guy that got destroyed by Hamzat in Hamzat's debut, where he basically beat him up for a round and a half with no return shots whatsoever. And there have been a few times in Rhys McKee's career where he's basically been the guy to just get owned by the new guy coming up. The UFC sort of feeds him, right? And he came out in this fight against Daniel Frunza and beat him, put on a masterclass performance on one end from Rhys McKee. He looked like a world beater that night, which is crazy. And then on Daniel Frunza's side, it looked like he had taken 50 Valium ahead of the fight or something like that. He had maybe just taken a bunch of sleeping pills or had a few drinks or maybe just gotten knocked out or something. He was drowsy. It looked like, the Pokemon Drowsy? He literally was fighting like that guy. Okay, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm just going to chalk that up to a weird one. The weird thing is he got knocked down in that fight 4 times, right? Squidwado, that YouTube channel, if you want to go see a good 2-minute video of these 4 knockdowns, he has it. But the fight didn't actually end by a KO. They ended it by a doctor stoppage because his lip was busted so badly or something like that, right? So the punches that were dropping him from Reese McKee as well, they were like barely touching him. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You got to check that video out. I'll link it in the description. Regardless, I look at that as like a one-off weird thing. I look at Charles Radtke as someone that folds pretty easily. So I'm going to say that Daniel Frunza is going to go in there as per usual, ready to just like be the berserker, right? Be the juggernaut, just come in there and try and just break the guy. And I see Charles Radtke breaking pretty easily. So this is going to be a round 1 KO, in my opinion. Moving on to Allan Nascimento versus Cody Durden. Corey Durden, oh my God. Thank God there's only probably like 4 people still watching by this point in the video. But this, I'm going to go Nascimento by submission. Honestly, just Cody Durden's not a good fighter. It's as simple as that. There wasn't much else that I really wanted to say about that one. Nascimento looks really good. He has a bunch of submission victories, and I see him being able to tap out Cody Durden pretty easily. So that's the card. Honestly, it's going to be a fun card. I don't do the prelims because by the time I get to the prelims, it'll just be me talking to no one. So if you want me to do the prelims, if you're actually watching this and you want more, let me know in the comments, and I'll also do the rest of the card on future videos. I actually don't mind. I watch all of the fights anyway, but I feel like I'll maybe make those when there's more people watching. Anyway, I think it's going to be fun. I think the main event is going to be a blast. Garcia versus Onama is just going to be, oh man, it's going to be such a good fight. So we're in for a treat. If you like the video, like the video. If you have any feedback on it, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more of this, subscribe. See ya.